So the first part is creating balance between what we call the responsiveness and demandingness. What does that mean? One of the very basic and first needs that children need from us is responding to their needs. So for the first year or two, the most important role of being a parent is to be responsive to the needs of the child. What comes to mind is usually the physical needs, like the eating, sleeping, being clean, changing diapers. But also what we're talking about is the psychological and emotional needs. Am I able to understand what my baby needs? Am I able to learn what they're trying to tell me? Am I responding to them when they need comfort? And as they grow, we still need to be responsive to their needs. Sometimes we mix being responsive with being spoiled, but that's not true. Responding to the needs and showing warmth and love and affection is not the reason for a child to be spoiled. The reason for a child to be spoiled is not balancing these responsiveness with what we call demandingness. As they start to grow and pass the 2-3 year mark, we still need to respond to their needs, which is going to change by time, but we also need to start putting some demands. What are our expectations from them? What are our rules? What are our agreements? What do we need them to do? Are they taking responsibility as they grow or not? Are they being in charge of their actions or not? Are they bearing the consequences of their choices or not? So we're always trying to create a balance between responding to their needs and at the same time making sure that they have limits. They know what they're asked to do. They are responsible for their actions. Another thing that we need to find the balance in is making sure that they are grounded to their rules. So they know their values. We are in the house, we're living the values. We are talking about the values in direct and indirect ways. So for instance, if I want my children to be honest, for example, it's not just about talking about what honesty means. We need to tell them stories about honesty. We need to tell them stories about when honesty was difficult, when honesty was a challenge, and sometimes it's not easy to stick to our values. And to balance that, they need to have their own experiences. They need to make mistakes sometimes and have a safe space to come and talk about it and have someone encourage them to understand why it was hard and what they're supposed to do in the next time and how can we support them in the next situation to learn from this mistake and deal with it in a different way. So we need to create a balance between having very clear and grounding values, and we make sure that we're living them at home and we're talking about them and we're creating habits, and at the same time we are allowing room for them to make mistakes, because every person in the whole world is always going to make mistakes. But the most important thing is to have a safe space to come and talk about this mistake, learn from it, try to fix it, and have someone support you to learn from it to avoid it in the future. So that's another thing that we need to create and find the balance in.